Rachel Holt for Nesson.com. Welcome to our Fantasy Football Podcast. Week 1 of the NFL season just wrapped up. Many surprises, many disappointments. If you watched that Rams 49ers games, we're sorry, that was terrible. We're joined by Ryan Fowler of Fox Sports. Ryan, thanks for joining us.
You got it.
As far as week 2, touch on those matchups again that you're targeting. Your fantasy owners should be looking at.
Yeah, Giants and Saints. I think Eli Manning's going to have a monster game. I think the Saints traveling to New York for that game. New Orleans had a heartbreaking loss to the Oakland Raiders in the final seconds, and they had a chance to win on that field goal by the Lutz, the kicker, but it didn't come through. I think Eli Manning and Sterling Shepard are building something there in New York. Now, we know Victor Cruz came back, scored a touchdown, did the salsa dance. We love that. Well, maybe not up there in New England, but it was one of those things where it was good to see Victor Cruz back on the field. I think Eli Manning's going to be in for a big week. Mentioned the Browns-Ravens matchup. I think not only Mike Wallace in that passing game, but we're going to have to start to see Dennis Pitta involved a little bit more. You remember Ben Watson placed on season-ending IR, Achilles injury, and I think you're going to want to exploit that Browns matchup. Titans and Lions is interesting because I think we need to see what Marcus Mariota can do against a little bit of a less test than what Minnesota was. He had some trouble with Mike Zimmer's defense there. I think the Tennessee Titans are a fascinating team because DeMarco Murray got his in week 1. Derrick Henry had that one big play, and then he was pretty quiet. Everybody wants Derrick Henry to break through. Maybe we'll see him more in that Lions contest. And then again, Tajay Sharp. I think he could run for president. I would support him right now. Tajay Sharp has looked really good in the preseason and then in the regular season week 1. And then we mentioned the Patriots-Dolphins matchup only because Chris Hogan had a nice game in week 1. I think Chris Hogan was one of those guys that maybe was a late round flyer in the 13th, 14th round. I actually drafted him and then cut him because I needed an RB2 to replace Jamal Charles. I wasn't so confident with the bench. Arian Foster against the Seahawks played all right. But yeah, Chris Hogan, I know a lot of people were pretty stoked to see that play out. And against the Dolphins played Seattle well. I don't think it's going to be an easy game for Jimmy G and company, but I think Chris Hogan's one of those guys where if you're looking outside the realm and that waiver wire is pretty picked over, Chris Hogan against the Dolphins could be a tantalizing option. I think Martellus Bennett let a lot of people down, but I don't know if you saw the report. Martellus Bennett is not playing for fantasy football owners. We've heard that before. And I think Martellus Bennett, for those that are nervous that drafted him, I think his full value comes when Gronk's on the field. So when Gronk returns, Martellus Bennett will get a better idea of what he can do.